building an image around their Irish background. Danny Boy and Everlast's heritage is credited as the catalyst they needed to get their new rap sound to the mainstream. Along with Latvian-born producer DJ Lethal and some production assistance from Cypress Hill's DJ Muggs, today's album certainly goes beyond just the novelty of Irish stereotyping as much as it may seem to really lean on it at face value here. This is their 1992 debut, House of Pain, Fine Malt Lyrics. Released through Tommy Boy Records, this is a hardcore raw rap album with some jazzy instrumentals, all structured on top of some punky defiance. The boys from the House of Pain come out with swagger, puffing blunts, slamming beers, and swinging for the fences. They manage to make a few solid connections before bouncing off to blow up the next house party or bar they come across. Straight out the gates, they make sure you're aware that you're entering the House of Pain with salutations. Being less of a song and more of just a minute of building repetition of the title with some little quips here and there quietly whispered. Not great on its own, but as an intro to jump around, it really does serve the purpose to get you fired up till you hear that classic intro horn riff and that squeal that has some pretty interesting story around just that little squeal. This sample's origin has been heavily scrutinized, with even Questlove saying that it's definitely a sample from Prince's Get Out. But Everlast is adamant that it wasn't a vocal sample at all, that it's a horn. I'm inclined to believe it's the tenor sax in the intro of Junior Walker's and the All-Stars' Shoot Your Shot, but unfortunately the producer, DJ Muggs, says it's neither of the two, so I don't know if this will ever be put to rest. Jump Around is an off-kilter, in-your-face, adrenaline-fueled club classic that cements the House of Pain's legacy of rowdy, incessant rap. Feeling like X actually gave it to me, this showcases their ability to create anthemic, roof-breaking arena shakers that are just bursting with charisma. Slowing down the wonky, jazzy horn samples provides an excellent transition into Put Your Head Out. I've got a difficult relationship with this one, where I absolutely love the instrumental, but the track feels pretty laid back for it being about the crew's unique, deadly rap flow, and Danny Boy's delivery feeling very much like a Cypress Hill track. It's not nearly as quick or aggressive as the group had just proved in the last number, making me think they're either super cocky or just a little disillusioned. This next one has them laying into their Irish pride some more, titled Top of the Morning to You. It has a chill, soulful instrumental, but instead of the usual off-center, drifty approach, this one's more of a twangy, rocky cut. Full of 90s references. My favorite part, besides the fast, smooth flow, is the part in the chorus. They use a sample that sounds like Tommy Chong saying, "What's the hassle, man? Are you giving me a hassle, man?" House in the Rising Sun is a reinforcement of the braggadocio found on Put Your Head Out, with a similar jazzy sample, catchy, repetitive chorus, and laid-back raps, but this one's quite a bit more raunchy. A country rock guitar riff breaks up the flow here for a second, but a pretty lackluster beat quickly overwhelms it on this album's second single, Shamrocks and Shenanigans. Some decent rapping, but the only thing overtly Irish about this one, other than the title, is the boom, shalock lock boom chorus here. Eerie horns slowly squeeze onto this haunting yet inviting little track titled House of Pain Anthem. It almost feels like a signal of the end of the first act of this record. Bringing in some levity with a fun, goofy, maybe Beastie Boys-y, Irish little pick-me-up and profile of rapper Danny Boy titled Danny Boy, Danny Boy. Funky surf rap swaggers in with some problematic lyrics on the track Guess Who's Back. Another case of a dope melody and amusing rap flow, but once I look into the lyrics, there's some funny lines, but I can't stand behind a lot of the polarizing statements here. So revisiting a similar formula to that of Jump Around, you got Put On Your Shit Kickers. Danny and Everlast spit where they're from, what they've got, and what they're going to do with it. Some action-inducing repetitive choruses and another scream and squeal sample, but this one's far less in your face than Jump Around's. Stoner psych rock backs Come and Get Some of This. A funky haze of antagonizing verses drops me onto a couch, passes me a anxiety-inducing indica, and just makes me sit quietly and stay out of the way and just kind of enjoy the music, hopefully. Slamming you back on the pavement, you got Life Goes On. Real standoffish with some great sampling. This one's super direct, and I wish it had some more verses. Where's more of this? I want some more of this. One for the Road has pretty much the opposite effect, with me being basically totally over the track before we even get to the chorus on this one. Some of the toughest, cleanest rhymes come next on Feel It, but this instrumental could seriously use some work. It's obnoxious, it's almost entirely flat, taking away from what should have been a highlight here. And then in another direction, you have All My Love that starts out with my absolute favorite beat on the entire album. It feels like a modern UK rap beat that you'd hear like a Little Sims or a Stormzy rap over. Unfortunately for me, it turns into a song that's similar to Teachers by Daft Punk. There's a homework review over there if you're interested. It digresses into this boring kind of drum, bass, and trumpet sample, and becomes a repetitive appreciation of all the people that helped Everlast and Danny make this LP. Like I'd suggested in that Daft Punk review with Teachers, they put this track right at the end of the album before a Jump Around remix comes back in. This one was made by Pete Rock, I believe. He slows it down a bit from the original, swapping out the incessant squealing for an R&B backdrop that really serves to highlight the rapping better here. Stepping into the House of Pain has been quite a roller coaster ride for me, with me being initially thrilled to have it, and then kind of taking a few too many rips of it and it getting a bit stale. And then coming back, enjoying a couple of tracks quite a bit, having them grow on me, but then reading into the lyrics and having them kind of feel a little bit discriminatory and maybe overly violent, and the braggadociousness gets a bit too much after a while. DJ Lethal and Muggs spin some truly progressive production here, and the cruise flow is slick, however outdated. There is a repetitive reference here and there, but if you don't mind loud, catchy, in-your-face choruses and bold raps, this has more than enough potential to be an enjoyable record to get a little rowdy to. These guys released 3 studio albums before going off and doing their own thing. Everlast has had a pretty successful music career, transitioning more to a folkier, bluesy sound. I quite enjoy some of his new stuff. It's definitely worth checking out. Let me know what you think down in the comments about House of Pain or anything I'm doing here, if you got recommendations or whatnot. Make sure if you've made it this far in the video, you've liked it and you're subscribed for a weekly dose of music mania! Random CDs, a playlist of the ones I've reviewed over here, and then probably a link to subscribe or maybe another video over here. Check them out if you got the time. Until you click again. Jump up and get down! Jump, jump, jump! Everybody jump!